Welcome to Day 7, How to Know the True Cost of Your Product, the Retail Solve Blueprint to teach you everything you need to know to confidently grow and scale your brand. Build a connected community of loyal evangelists and multiply your brand's impact, sales, and profits. If we're meeting for the first time, my name is Dan Lohman. I've had the privilege of mentoring and working with hundreds of brands, from pre-revenue to multi-billion dollars in sales. This is the culmination of the best strategies that are working today. I've spent years testing and perfecting them to save you valuable time and money while giving you the edge that you deserve. If you haven't done so yet, download the free 30 Days to Guide to Prosperity at retailsolve.com/30-day workbook to help you get the most out of this brand building series. And go back and listen to other episodes, all the episodes in this masterclass, so that you don't miss anything. The strategies build upon each other in the order of the series. Please share these and help me raise the bar natural. I want to take a moment to recap the last episode, how to hire wisely to fill strategic skill gaps. This is an important lesson because you've got to surround yourself with the right people, with the best people to help you solve those problems that are going to help you grow and scale your brand. The challenge with most entrepreneurs is that we think that we can do everything on our own. The reality is that we can't. There are certain things that we're good at, and there are certain things that we're exceptional at, and there are certain things that we're not good at all. And we need to find people that we can help fill those gaps. People that we can rely on to help make sure that everything runs properly in your business. More importantly, if you can hire the right people and then empower them to succeed on your behalf, that's where the magic happens. That's where you're able to grow and scale your brand exponentially. In that episode, I shared an example of where when I was working with Spins, I created the distribution tracker. The point of that story is this. I was able to convince my boss to give me the freedom and the reins to be able to create a tool that radically changed the way that the brands, their clients, look at the data or use the data. Because of that, I opened up an entirely different profit center for Spins, and more importantly, I was able to help brands and retailers better understand what was going on shelf, better understand what they needed to do to be able to evaluate and measure their brand's performance, and how they could measure and evaluate their competitors' performance, and then come up with strategies to help give them a significant competitive advantage. That was just one example about how you can leverage the people around you to take your brand to the next level and beyond. I've mentioned that I have had the privilege of working with a lot of different brands, from pre-revenue all the way up to multi-billion dollars in sales. A lot of the smaller companies use guesstimates when they're trying to identify what their product costs. They don't really know exactly what it costs, and as such, they don't know exactly how to price it, or they don't know exactly what they need to do in terms of promotion. One of the chosen majors that I had in college was to be an accountant. I wanted to be a CPA because when you look at the back of a company perspective, those are the people that hold the top positions. The skills that you need to have to be a CPA can open the doors to a lot of other things. Obviously, I didn't become a CPA, but what I did do is I was able to leverage those skills that I learned to help brands better understand why knowing the true cost of your product is so critically important. I was working with a brand at the Boulder Innovation Center, where I was helping the brand understand what it cost to put their product in a bag. They had a rough idea, but they didn't really know. And the reason this matters is because when you're thinking about how to price your brand and you don't understand exactly what it costs for the ingredients, especially when the ingredient prices change based upon the seasons, etc., that can dramatically impact your profitability. So I created a spreadsheet to help them identify exactly what it costs to put your product in the bag. Let me give an example with why this matters. So let's say, for example, you're building furniture. How much glue do you need to put together a desk or a chair or whatever? How many nails do you need? How much time do you need? How much stain do you need? All of those things might seem mundane, but they add up over time, and especially as you begin to produce even more. Well, let's say in that example, you're producing chairs. Well, as your business grows and scales, it costs less to buy the wood and everything else. Therefore, your cost of goods goes down. If you don't understand exactly what your costs are today, when you are growing your brand, when you're most susceptible to other challenges, you don't know how to properly price your brand. You don't know how to price your brand effectively so that you can weather any of the challenges in the industry. For example, what if there's a drought and the price of the ingredients that you're buying goes up dramatically because there's less of it, basic supply and demand? What if, for example, you're trying to get your product on a store shelf And so the best solution for you think, is to buy your packaging. Well, traditionally, as I've shared in a lot of podcast episodes, it takes about 24 weeks to get your packaging in using traditional strategies. In some of the podcast episodes, I share a unique strategy where you can get on-demand packaging. You'll want to go back and listen to those episodes. The point is, while I may spend a little bit more for the packaging, I don't have to tie up all that capital and have it sit around doing nothing while I wait for the packaging to come in. I can start selling my product right away. And then conversely, I don't have to have a lot of excess inventory, packaging inventory, that I can't use for quite a while. And then, of course, what if I change a label? What if I get a certification? Well, then I need to change my packaging again anyhow. The point is this. If you could spend a little bit more to get your product on a store shelf and start selling it today, start generating an income, that income is going to help you fuel future growth, future innovation, and help you pay for the things that you need. People, the lighting bill, etc. Using that simple strategy to help you identify what it costs to put your product in a bag and start selling it is going to differentiate your brand from other brands. It's going to give you a competitive advantage in that now you'll know how to price your product accordingly. One of the things that I talk a lot about throughout this series, and especially the webinar series, is trade marketing. Trade marketing is the biggest black hole for every brand, literally every brand. 25% of a brand's gross sales is tied to your trade marketing, and yet 70 to 90% of those dollars are wasted or ineffective. What I mean by wasted or ineffective? Dollars that don't do anything to drive sustainable sales after the promotion's over. Without getting too nerdy here, the focus of every promotion is to introduce your product to a new customer, period. That's it. If you're promoting your product and someone who's already planning on buying it buys it, well, that benefits them, but it doesn't help you grow your promotion ROI. Again, I cover this in depth in a lot of the podcast episodes, webinars, and so on. You'll definitely want to go back and review those. For additional inspiration, listen to podcast episode Secrets 82, Why Knowing the Health of Your Brand is Critical to Your Survival. In this episode, I talk about how you need to focus on contribution, not on velocity. Velocity is what everyone is focused on in this industry, and that makes sense if you're a big brand. But the reality is that big brands with deep pockets can buy velocity. But by doing that, they also pull a lot of profitable dollars out of the category. By focusing on the contribution, that's the money that your brand, that's the money that the retailer takes to the bank when they sell your brand. That measure allows you to change your story from being a low-cost brand on the shelf to being a traffic driver, a profit driver for the retailer. There's a lot more to that in that podcast episode. Listen to Secrets 82. These are the strategies that a natural brand needs to use with big retailers and even with small retailers. This is a strategy that's going to give a significant and sustainable competitive advantage. This is a strategy that's going to help your retail partners achieve what they want. More traffic in their store, a competitive advantage in their market, and a reasonable profit. Secrets 82, Why Knowing the Health of Your Brand is Critical to Your Survival. That podcast episode is a quick overview of how to assess the health of your brand. You can get there by going to retailsolve.com brand health. In that mini course, I show illustrations and I show you exactly why this matters. I show you how to calculate the health of your brand, and more importantly, I show you why that matters and how you can leverage that strategy in retail. You'll want to check out how to assess the health of your brand at retailsolve.com/brand health. Next, I recommend that you watch the free webinar, How to Calculate the True ROI from a Promotion. You can get there by going to retailsolve.com/promo ROI, PROMO ROI. And How to Calculate the True ROI from a Promotion, I break down exactly what I was talking about. I help you identify how much a promotion costs. When a lot of brands promote, remember I mentioned that a lot of the money's wasted? They just use a rinse and repeat strategy. This is what we did last year, so this is what we're going to do this year. The reason that matters is because those are incredibly inefficient, incredibly ineffective. Instead, let's say that a retailer comes to you and says, I want you to promote 5 times in my store. And by using the strategies in this free webinar, you can then go to the retailer and you can say, you know what, I can't do 5 promotions, but I could do 3 promotions and I can go deeper on them. I could put more emphasis, more energy, more effort in behind them. And as a result, it's going to be a bigger win-win for you and for the retailer. These are the strategies that you need to use as you go to retail, as you're working with retailers. The reason this matters is because this is how you help them gain a competitive advantage in their market. The webinar, How to Calculate True ROI from a Promotion, at retailsolve.com/promo ROI. One of the things that I highlight on that free webinar is a free promotion ROI calculator that I built on my website for your use. You can get there by retailsolve.com/promotion ROI. The Retail Promotion ROI Calculator allows you to actually put numbers in, real numbers. How much does it cost for you to promote your product? How much volume do you expect? How much money are you putting to off invoice or some of the other components of a promotion? Once you put that in there, it'll calculate the value of that promotion, how much it cost you. You can then print that off. Then after you run the promotion, you've got the actual results. You can put that information in, the real numbers, and then compare it to see how well you did, to see how effective your planning was. The benefit of doing this is that you begin to understand what's important, what drives sales and what doesn't. For example, if you have a temporary price reduction at shelf, you lower the price, but you're not putting it on display, well, you're probably not going to get as much traffic. Conversely, promotions, displays cost a lot more money. Are they worth it? Does it make sense for what you're trying to do? This tool is amazing. It's the best tool that I've ever built. It's going to unlock a lot of doors for you, and more importantly, it's going to help you understand exactly the true cost of promoting your product at shelf. And then next, I recommend that you watch the free webinar, How to Plan and Forecast Sales in Uncertain Times. You can get there by going to retailsolve.com/forecasting. Planning and forecasting is something that every brand needs to do. How much product do you need to have available to support your sales? The challenge is this. Most brands, especially small brands, when they put together a promotion, they don't think ahead about how much product they need to have on shelf to be able to support the promotion. I shared an excellent example earlier in the last lesson where I talked about how a legacy brand had to put together a promotion that was really great, but it was a miserable failure. And the reason it was is because they didn't have enough product available to support the promotion. Therefore, the retailer lost out and the brand lost out. And more importantly, the customers were upset because they didn't get what they wanted. This is why this matters. And when you're dealing with perishable products, food products, you need to be very accurate, and you need to understand exactly what it costs to put your product in a bag, exactly how many sales you can expect with the promotion and without a promotion, and then you need to be able to plan accordingly so that you've got the right ingredients on hand, the right amount of packaging on hand, the right amount of people in place and activated to sell your product. So when you promote your product at a retailer, don't just say, hey, I've got a great promotion. Instead, make recommendations. Let them know. You're the expert. Let them know exactly how much product they need to have available to support that promotion without having too much incremental backstock afterwards. You'll definitely want to watch How to Plan and Forecast Sales in Uncertain Times. Go to retailsolve.com/forecasting. Tip of the day. Accuracy matters. Knowing the true cost of your products will give you a significant edge as you plan and forecast and promote, giving you more runway to grow and scale. I recorded a video with this, which has illustrations and additional information that I can't share on the audio podcast. You can watch the accompanying video on the podcast webpage, and you can get there by going to brandsecretsandstrategies.com/session 233. In tomorrow's show, we'll talk about how to master your why. What problem do you solve? This episode will build on today's conversation. Thank you for listening, and I look forward to seeing you in the next show.